65% of 401k account holders have no idea they pay fees for their retirement plans. Are you one of them? It turns out the average American household will pay nearly $155,000 over the course of a lifetime in fees alone. That's according to a new study. Here to break it all down, Robert Hilton-Smith, a policy analyst at Demos. Welcome, Robert.
Thanks.
I think most people out there, when I talk to people, I'll ask, are you paying fees in your 401k? And they'll say no.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's the response that I found as well, But, in this study, we view retirement as being kind of a necessary part of the middle class. And when we looked at it, we really found that all of the costs of retirement are really being shifted onto individuals here in the 401k
right.
system, And really, they should really be shared among all the stakeholders, which is, everybody.
I like that idea, but it's not true. So let's talk about how much money really is coming out of savers' pockets at the end of the day. And we pulled this out of your study, $155,000 to $277,000.
Right.
So the lower number, of course, for a median income two-earner household, the higher number if you have a slightly higher income.
Right.
Now, how is it that nobody knows this? Is it so it comes out in dribs and drabs and you just don't notice?
Yeah, I mean, because it doesn't show up anywhere on any of your account statements, right? When you get your quarterly statement, and this is going to change, of course, in September, when you get your quarterly account statement right now, all you see is your balances and your various investments, and you don't see the fees because they're taken out behind the scenes. And to figure out the fees, you have to dig into all of these plan documents, which are nearly incomprehensible for a lot of people. And some of the fees aren't even in those standard summary plan documents either. These trading costs that I talk about in the report, which can be huge, aren't in these documents at all.
And so these fees can be the difference between retiring and retiring comfortably.
Exactly. And the way that we did our study, this median income household, they save in a way that most of us aren't able to save, right? The way that we did it, they save consistently through their whole working lifetime. They never have to withdraw. And of course, this isn't the case for most of us, right? But the big number is even beyond that $155,000, the 30% number is the other number that I talk about, that no matter who you are, whether you've got $1 or $1 million in your 401k, fees are going to cost you about 30% of your balance.
It's just ridiculous. So you say it's Wall Street that's benefiting.
I mean, that's the line that I like to use. In essence, somebody's going to retire off these 401ks, but it's not going to be the people saving.
It's actually has resonance. So you say new rules are coming into effect. How's that going to impact me? Where am I going to see these fee disclosures?
Well, where you're going to see them depends actually, maybe unfortunately, on your particular retirement plan provider, right? But you will see them in your quarterly statement that you get on your balance. It might be on page 1, it might be on page 29 of the statement, but they'll be in there somewhere. It will be in there somewhere, and it'll show the investments that you've got, and then you've got $5,000 in this one, and it'll say you paid $500 in fees this year. But really, unfortunately, the problem with this is that's not the whole picture.
Right.
Right? Because when you just look at the fees you paid this year, it doesn't get at two things, right? It doesn't get the lifetime costs of these things, right? Because that $500 that you paid would have been sitting there earning
money
returns,
over time,
right,
and would have helped
10,
you retire.
20, 30 years. Exactly, and would help you retire. So that $500
That's
might be...
one. What's two?
The other is these trading costs, right? So these are the costs, basically, both the commissions that people pay and the what they call bid-ask spread in economist speak. Right. Every time you make a trade, you have to pay a cost, basically. And whenever these mutual funds make a trade, the costs get passed on to us, but they don't see those at all.
I am looking forward to September because I want to see these disclosures, and I appreciate your telling our viewers all about it because I know they're very concerned about these fees. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks.
Appreciate
Thanks very much for having me.